Hey everybody, Thursday update, Tony George, DocSports.com. Podcast update, 7-unit big play alert update. Up front today, then we're going to get to the Big Ten basketball game between Michigan and Purdue. I might mention another small conference game. But speaking of small conferences, my first 7-unit pick of the season in college basketball goes tonight, small conference action. My small conference guru, who's doing well, had a setback last night with Chattanooga. We won with Xavier, getting 6.5 against UConn. Why? They won outright. But the bigger play of the two was Chattanooga, so we took a little hit last night. We're going to get it back and then some tonight. We got a small conference hidden gem. Odds makers fell asleep at the wheel in the getaway car. Cheap line. Come on. Doc Sports, first 7-unit pick of the season in college basketball. Very rare. I'm not just throwing out these 7-unit plays every day and this, that, and the other. You know, games of the year every other week, all that crap. No, we dialed in on one. Passed on a couple. We'll talk about the ones we passed on because whenever we have a big pick, that's the only pick we have out. And we have one pick in the NFL this weekend in the NFC Championship game. It's a 7-unit top play. Haven't lost an NFL playoff card all year. Last weekend, plus $1,070 for a $100 player. Won both cards and hit an 8-unit game of the year. That's the hype for both of them. We'll tell you what else is going on here in a second. And no, I don't have any interest in this game. I'm going to watch this as a fan. But tomorrow, I'm going to have a buddy of mine by the name of Kyle Hunter. Good handicapper. I respect guys that are good. He's not at Docs, but I respect him. We're going to have a podcast. Now, here's the thing about Kyle. I've known Kyle a long time. But Kyle and I have a couple of disagreements, and I'll tell you what they are. He's an Ohio State fan. I think he lives in Columbus. He's a huge Buckeyes fan, which makes him a huge Bengals fan. Well, I'm a Nebraska fan, alum, Big Ten, Ohio State, been whipping our butt. He's got bragging rights. And on the other side of the coin, in the NFL side of things, his Bengals are 3-0 their last 3 against my Chiefs, including this very game last year. We're going to talk about it on a podcast tomorrow afternoon. You can find it on Twitter at TGeorgeSports and on Facebook. If you're not a Twitter guy or gal, just go in there and type Tony George Sports. I got a group page over there. I'll announce the time that's going to be live, and then it'll be archived there. You can watch it. We're going to have a live on-air side bet, have a little fun with it, talk about the game. You know who he's going to take, and you know who I'm going to take. And but I'm not willing to actually put this out as a premium play because the status of Patrick Mahomes is unknown. In my opinion, there's no way to handicap that game unless you know how he's going to perform. And you're not going to know until game time. Now, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. There's a lot of people that think Cincinnati go in there with Burrow and wax him if Mahomes is fully healthy. We'll talk about it tomorrow on the podcast. Tomorrow's free play update. I'll tell you the time that goes off. Let's talk about a couple of games here. Early game, just if you haven't been paying attention, Florida Atlantic's got a hell of a basketball team. FAU, 19-1, ranked 19th in the country. Taking on Middle Tennessee State tonight, laying 8. Kind of like that. You think the number's too big, play the first half line. FAU's for real. Big time. Big time for real. Yep. I've been studying them, watching them, waiting to kind of pull the trigger on them. You're getting a lot of chalky stuff now. Probably the first time I go that I play them, I'll be going against them because odds makers are going to start putting lines up there that are ridiculous. And the noose always gets tighter this time of year, which leads me into my next play. Purdue at Michigan. What's not to love about Purdue in this game? I've got minus 11 on power ratings in my database. KenPom has a minus 13. They're laying 5.5. On the road at Michigan, ho-hum. Well, last time, and every single, that's a huge overlay against the spread. It's a huge overlay. Even on mine, it's 5.5 points. Overlay against spread. What I think an overlay against the spread is, here's the spread and here's the power rating number. My power rating number is 11. The spread's 5.5. That's a 5.5 point difference. KenPom, it's a 7.5 point difference. You don't see 7.5 point overlays. You don't see them. Trust me, books use KenPom too. TeamRankings.com, a couple others. You can go back to old Jeff Saragin, whatever you want to do. These power ratings. Handicappers publish their power ratings sometimes. Guys like Ken White, Brad Powers, all of them, I'm sure, have an overlay against the spread, and the whole world's going to be taking Purdue. They're 5-0 in true road games and 5-0 on neutral sites. That means they're 10-0 straight up away from home this year. The last time they went in to Michigan, they got beat. I wrote this down, so I did a write-up. I almost put this up as a premium play. They went in last year to Michigan, who owns them, by the way, and got beat 82-58. Last 5 games, you look at right here, right now, Purdue is allowing 55 points a game on defense and Michigan allowing 70. This looks like an automatic take. As Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. I'm taking the dog. The home dog. You got a good matchup there. Now, Zach Edey, the big guy for Purdue, has absolutely dominated in the Big Ten. However, don't forget Michigan's got a big guy too. I mean, you take a look at Michigan, they've just owned them. They've covered the spread in the last 4 meetings and won 6 out of the last 7 straight up. I think it's close. I really do. I think it's a closer game than what you think it is. It's going to be a good game. 5.5. Opened up at 4.5. Everybody loves them. This is a battle of bigs here. Hunter Dickinson, come on. He has the size to match up and give him problems. It's a great spot for Michigan at home. They've won their last 4 conference games on their home floor, getting points. I think Jett Howard probably be a matchup for Purdue as well. Purdue really does as good a defense as they're playing. Name me one guy that's an elite wing defender for them to slow him down. They don't have one. I think it's a good matchup for Michigan. I'm going to take the 5.5 tonight in this game and see if we can get the winner. We had a rare loss last night. Rick Barnes, Tennessee, put him away. Only, I was hoping, and I did not see, that Georgia would only score 41 points on the road. Wow, that's unbelievable. And that Wake game, I thought, let's go contrarian maybe. Flew over again. Wake Forest now 10-0 on overs. And the Panthers 13-7 on overs. Pitt Panthers. That game went way over. Wow. Nonetheless, let's get a winner tonight. Michigan, I think they give Purdue all they want. Do they win? Just going back to that game a minute, just because we're sitting around here in a long-winded video, Purdue doesn't put anybody away. They barely win games. They win them. They don't put anybody away. Michigan tonight. Be sure and get over and get a 7-unit top play tonight in college basketball, 4-unit NHL, 3-unit NBA prop, and a PGA picks will start tomorrow. Head-to-heads daily. Torrey Pines. Let's see how it shakes out on Thursday.